Hey, yo, mic check 1 2 1 2. It's the Kinflow Podcast. Yeah. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate. We here to give you game. We here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Yeah. Keep your head up. Hey. Keep your head up. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate. We here to give you game. We here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Yeah. Every day when I awaken, ask God give me strength for the day that I be facing. Yeah, because we all trying to make it there. Life is hard, we keep pushing on the real, we don't fear. Because we gotta keep God first, while overcoming the obstacles, putting the truth first. And it still hurts, but it gets worse if we decide not to speak while we on this earth. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate, we here to give you game, we here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we're building on this knowledge. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate. We here to give you game. We here to make you laugh. Deep conversation while we're building on this knowledge. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Yeah.
And all that other shit is to control you. If the churches took half the money that they was making and gave it back to the community, we'd be alright. If they take half the buildings that they use to praise God and gave it to motherfuckers who need God, we'd be alright. Y'all, have you seen some of these goddamn churches lately? It's ones that take up the whole block in New York. It's homeless people out here. Why ain't God letting them stay there? Why these niggas got gold ceilings and shit? Why God need gold ceilings to talk to me? Why do God need colored windows to talk to me? Why God can't come where I'm at, where he sent me? If God wanted to talk to me in a pretty spot like that, why the hell he sent me here then? You know what I mean? That make ghetto kids not believe in God. Why? So that's a wrong religion. I believe in God. I believe God put us wherever we want to be at. Then it makes sense that God will put us in the ghetto. That means he wants us to work hard to get up out of here. That means he's testing us even more. That makes sense. It makes sense that if you're good in your heart, then you closer to God. But if you evil, then you close to the devil. That makes sense. I see that every day. All that other spooky shit don't make sense.
Yeah, you listening to the Kinflow Podcast. Start this thing out. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you would, scan that code, go to the website, leave your email, go to the YouTube, subscribe, Thekinflow Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, on Twitter X, it's Thekinflow Pod. We appreciate y'all for coming through. What's up, Kinfolk?
Let me get myself together. Everything's good, man. Everything's good. I'm sorry. I had to get myself together.
Man, you look so handsome, dog. You got good genes, dog. Man.
Hey.
Can a man say that? Can a man tell another man you're handsome?
Pool.
Can another man say you're handsome?
I think hell, you my cousin, so I don't see why not.
I was just
we come from the same.
Oh, okay.
We come from the same.
Cool. Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
that though.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, man. Welcome to the Kinflow Podcast. I'm your host, Big Pound. And I got my co-host,
and I'm
Busy B.
Hey, we got to work on this. We still rolling. But we got to work on this introduction thing because I always throw it off. In my opinion, I always throw it off when you get ready to introduce us because
it's okay.
You say what you say, and then I interrupt you while you're saying what you say coming in. So I'm always late. Y'all
right,
forgive
man.
me.
It's non-scripted like Trump. It ain't scripted like Harris, you know. So I feel like the people people appreciate it a little bit more anyway when they see the flaws in something, and we ain't trying to hide it all away. So, yeah, man. So how your week been, man? What you thinking about since the election? What's your feelings right now? We got
Actually, I'm just thinking about. Are we having a delay?
yeah, I think so. It's okay. We're gonna get through it. Y'all bear with us. We've been having a lot of
Is that on
technical
my end?
issues. Uh, I don't know. What color's the sky?
Blue.
Yeah, we got a delay, like a 3-second delay now for some reason. We just tested it, but
Okay.
yeah, it's a little delay, like a 3-second delay.
Well, that'll allow me to not interrupt when you're saying something. So I know 3 seconds. I'm gonna wait 3 seconds before I say anything, or after you finish
Right,
talking. We're gonna get
right.
this right.
Okay. Y'all please be patient with us. Um, yeah, we trying to get it right. But we done a lot to get to this point. So we gonna keep it pushing. What I was asking you is, since we seen this landslide victory from Donald Trump over Kamala Harris, how you feeling about that?
Well, I lay in the bed at night, or I was laying in the bed when that was going on, and then the following day, I was just waiting to see if the ground was gonna shake or the sky was gonna light up because I was expecting some bombs or something to hit. Get ready for World War III, all those good things. So with with all that, I haven't felt any kind of way. I mean, it's expected that people you're gonna have some people feel good, you're gonna have some people feel bad, and at the end of the day, for me, I just want the economy to get back to where it was prior to what we've been going through, and evidently, a lot of other people feel the same way and chose Mr. Red hair to make it happen.
Repeat that again.
Orange hair,
Man, I think Trump is a
all
G.
of it.
No, you don't got to repeat anything. I'm just saying. I think Trump is a G, man. I think that I just think he, as far as running business and making tough decisions, I just think overall he's more qualified. No personal attacks against Kamala, but I think the people, they resonated with more of a truthful style of doing politics. Like just being open and honest, no matter how raw it sounds. Like we talked about this before the election, right? Um,
Hmm.
I just think people are tired of the charades. People see with their own eyes what this country is looking like right now. The last 3 years, 3.5 years, I think everybody can see, whether what color or whatnot, whatever color you are, whatever age bracket you are, whatever gender you are. I think everybody can see what's going on from how American citizens are being treated.
No doubt, I agree.
But we do have some angry women out there that's blaming black men, right? We got some angry women out there blaming black men. And before I get to that, let's get to let me see. Let's get to these. Let's see what the stats look like. Who really voted what way and who put Trump in office. So give me a second, real quick. A lot of on the fly finagling right now. Can you see that? Are you able to see that on your screen, Kinflow?
Not yet. Now I can now.
Okay.
Very small though. And for those that's tuning in right now, actually doing this on my phone. So you see the glasses on my head and the
Okay,
screen
so
is small. So I'm
I
doing the
help
best
you
I
out.
can.
I help you out. So in the red we got Republican, in the blue we got Democrat. When it comes to male voters, we got 42% of males voted for Kamala Harris and 55% for Trump. Female voters, 53% for Kamala, 45% for Trump. Now, out of those two categories and genders, does any one of those numbers surprise you, kinfolk?
You said for the males, it was what percentage?
For the males for Trump, it was 55% and 42% for Kamala.
Okay. And for the females,
It was reverse. It was almost reverse. You got 53% female and 45% female for Trump.
so my take on that, and this has come from my perspective as a male, for the male vote to be as high as it is, I think during the process of Kamala during her campaign, she didn't show strong leadership ability. She didn't show the confidence that as from for a male to look at a woman to be leading, it needs to be amplified in a way where they're going to be comfortable, because to show that leadership and to have that confidence, it needs to be just as much as what that male figure is going to be. So that alone, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but I feel like that's a real big reason to add to the other multiple reasons of things or various things as to why they chose not to go with Kamala. Because during her campaign, she didn't show, in my opinion, the things needed as far as being a strong individual that's going to have the leadership qualities to take on the multiple tasks that a president takes on. And she was scripted. She showed that she was scripted the whole way through the campaign. Who really is Kamala is what I would ask, because I don't know. You could ask her, what color shoes you have. Well, I was raised in a middle class family. Well, what kind of car you drive? Well, I was raised in a middle class family.
Right.
Well, we got that. What else is it that you do? Well, back in the day, we put collard greens in a bathtub. Okay, now you're talking outside of things. And this is what I don't understand.
Yeah. It's pretty that's
So,
that's yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you
so
off.
let me finish. I got you. I'm counting in my head 3 seconds every time when you finish a start.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, that's for the male. For the females, for them to vote in the way that they voted, I think, and I'm not a female, so I only can give a outside looking in perspective, and that is they're looking at someone that has accomplished a big, a big, to have achieved something really big, standing on a lot of that what that achievement represents. A woman, uh, cross barriers that was very hard to do, put it in a position to handle things from a male's perspective or in a male's role at what how society would look at it, and now you're about to be on top of everything. I think that regardless of how her campaign was weak or strong, she's going to have just that alone to back her up. And then as far as the leadership and things of that nature, and a lot of the rhetoric that was put out there, that obviously the whole world noticed. Um, I think they just looked past that. It was more of, hey, you're a, a woman that is carrying on multiple things to get you where you are. We rock with you. We feel that. You black, you Asian, you white, you something. We don't really know, but that ain't the big picture. We, you're a woman at the end of the day, and that's the bigger picture that we looking at. So
Yeah,
that's my take on that.
for sure. And to continue on, this is the percentages by race. We got when it comes to white, 41% voted Harris, 57% voted Trump. When it comes to black, which all of the hoopla and you got celebrities talking down, you got the former president Obama talking down, his wife talking down to black males. 85% of the vote voted for Harris, only 13% for Trump. Um, Hispanic, Latino, 52% for Harris, 46% for Trump. Asian, 54% for Harris, 39%, and others, 42% for Harris and 54% for Trump. Um, when you look at that black statistic, 85%, even though they say it's a little lower than it usually is, that's still a lot. What I mean,
Mm-hmm.
to me, um, when I see 85% voting for Harris, I see legacy vote. I see that's just something that we always do because evidently nobody is really paying attention to the real stuff going on. That's just something that we do, that we just choose to keep voting Democrat no matter what. Like even if it's a detriment to our own progress in this country, bro. Like 85%.
85%.
That's that's
That's generational convincing and influence, in my opinion,
I
and
wouldn't
it's
really
starting to change.
I re- yeah, it is. I really would have thought it'd have been lower than that though.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, I'm not either, but I really thought it would be lower than that. A little bit lower than that. Um, but I guess that just goes to the power of propaganda and groupthink. Um, you know,
Well, you got to look at that's male and female,
yes,
right?
right,
That's male and female. That's 85%. So
yes,
just like it shows in the genders, 55% male voted for Trump. Now we have 13% that voted for Trump, 57 for white, 40 something for Latino, and then 30 something for the Asians. As the black community as a whole, we've always stood on supporting the Democratic Party. Um, that has just been what it is. Now you have other that I don't know. The other is, it's 45% Democrat and then 54 Republican. Who is considered other, and it sure is a lot of them.
yeah. Anybody that's not them first four categories. So you know, you got
Mm.
biracial, you got Pacific Islanders, you got um yeah, like I said, I don't know. What are others? That's a good question. What are
So
others?
to, to me, others are the younger generation. A lot of the younger generation that might
Mhm.
classify themselves as, the he, her, him, those, that, and I think they would put themselves in that category.
No, we talking about race though. We talking about
Well,
race.
I understand, but if you don't even identify as a he or she, or if you don't identify as whatever you naturally are, who's to say that you you're going to do the same thing for the race part too? That's all I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, that's true. But
And if you scroll up or go to the age bracket
yeah, I'm going now.
a little bit more.
Let's go down by age. That's pretty close. 18 to 29,
Mm,
53, 53 to 43, 30 to 44. That's like 50-50. 45 to 64 is leaning more Trump at 54 to 44%. And over 65 is split down the middle. Yeah, that's pretty
mhm.
balanced. That's pretty balanced for its age bracket. Other than the 18 to
Yeah.
29 year olds, I guess more the young people identify with Kamala Harris's message. But again, we know at a young age, you really it's hard to decipher a lot of the propaganda and the talking points like older people can do. But you know, um, I don't know, man. That's real. That's a real nuance thing right there. Uh, college graduates, more college graduates voted for Harris, 55%, 42% college graduates for Trump. No college degree, 42% for Kamala, and 56% for Trump. To me, that just represents the average working man. You know, uh,
Mhm.
people, you know, they want the economy like you started off. They want the economy to be good, and they want to be able to see it. They want to be able to see it in the pocketbooks, man. They want to, they remember what this country was like when he was president. So, uh, but with all that said, bro, let me get this off the screen. With all that said, you got women that are mad at they mad, right? They
Mhm.
mad at us. Do you think women got the right to be mad at black men after just looking at we just looked at all the statistics, right? Do you think that they got a reason to be this distraught about election, regardless of who won? Regardless of who won, we still gotta live. We still gotta provide. We still gotta keep our faith in God, regardless of who would have won. We still got to get up and grind every day, right? We still got to go hunt, and we still got to bring food home. So, um, it's just crazy, man. I want to show you an example of this, the craziness that's going on right now with these women on this internet, which is crazy. Fair use. I'm citing my source. The Art of Dialogue put this up on Twitter. So shout out to the Art of Dialogue.
Latinos that voted for Trump, I hope he mass deports you and your entire family, whether you were here legally or not. You got to go. I hope he does that. To you, black men who your fragile ego couldn't take a black woman in office, so you either voted for Trump or you didn't vote at all. The police will now have carte blanche to murder you right where the fuck you stand. And when they do that, there's not going to be no GoFundMe's. Don't ask your family to ask us for shit. Just die. They can't afford to bury you. Dig a hole in their backyard. It is what the fuck it is. But don't expect sympathy. Don't expect protest in the streets. We're not doing that. Black women, we're done with. We're done. We did our due diligence for this century and the next. We've done enough. We're not doing anymore. To you white women that once again voted against your fucking interests, when your husbands start knocking you into the middle of fucking next week and you can't do anything about it because no fault divorce is in play, I want you to take those black lives and deduct as a personal thank you from Donald J. Trump each and every time you get fucking hit. Take it. Don't look for nobody else. Don't ask for fucking help. Take your beatings. For all of y'all that voted for Trump, I hope you get exactly what you voted for. Because the only thing he did was make America great for the people that it was great for from the fucking beginning, white men. That's what he did. He couldn't run the risk of whiteness no longer being the default, not being allowed to fail up. So when you're bleeding out somewhere and there's a medical emergency and you can't get no fucking help, women who voted for him don't take it. You just gotta die. If you got kids, they just gonna be motherless. It is what the fuck it is. You didn't give a fuck, so we don't give a fuck. That's how it is. This isn't America anymore. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's not gonna be America. And if you think that Trump is gonna be in that office for 4 years, you're fucking insane. Because we about to be in a real live action episode of fucking Scandal. Because your next president is not Donald Trump, it's JD Vance. Because trust and believe, within a year, you're not gonna see Trump anymore. He's either gonna be, and they're gonna say it's illness or he died in his sleep, it's natural causes because he's fucking old enough, or they just gonna let him spaz out and do the 25th. And that's when we really gonna be in the handmaid's tale. So I really hope all of you who voted for him, you get exactly what the fuck you deserve.
Well, well, well. Uh,
Wow,
what do you think about
man.
that?
Um,
Thoughts, please, sir.
everybody's entitled. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Some of the things that she mentioned when it comes to I guess she was leaning towards police brutality and then like this divorce thing where okay, all these things that she's saying. Um, I wish she would have went in a little more in depth, other than just she's venting to clarify some things because on either side, the policies that you want to talk about, you could turn it into a dramatic scene like that, and or voice the policies in a angrily way to where it fits the narrative, like what she's saying. I'm not saying that the things that she is saying doesn't have any validity to it, but to air everything out as though we at the end of civilization as it to be, where things that are in place is going to just create all this chaotic stuff. I would have to say what I would like to ask that person, what is your opinion of the last 3 almost 4 years of the policies that were in place? What is your opinion of how it affected the very areas you speak on? How do you feel about it? What does that look like? Is it the same? Is it less? Does it hold any weight with what's been going on these last 3 going on 4 years? And see what the the reply would be to that. Because again, I mean, you're mad and you see things the way you see them. Uh, for any and everybody that did vote to help Trump get into office, all we can do at the end of the day,
I really do.
Sorry.
all we all we can do at the end of the day is pray that God oversees or protects us from whatever wrong decisions or bad policies that are in place and keep us covered and continue on living. So that's my take on that. I
That was
everybody's gonna have an opinion. So
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Everybody has their right to their opinion. Everybody has a perspective. Nobody's immune from that. Well, here's my opinion. Say it's a
let's
lot
hear
of
it.
it's a lot of venom in that conversation, man. I mean, you wishing people to die. You talking about let them bleed out and all of this. Oh, that sound like hurt to me, bro. It sound like a lot of venom, bro. It sound like it's something deeper there. I'm not a psychologist, so I ain't gonna get into all of that. But man, I just hear a hurt woman, for whatever reason. To be honest with you, more people were killed up under Obama by the police. So I mean, being shot by the police is not something that goes away, regardless of who the president is. As being a black man in America, man, we know where we at. We know where the fuck we at. We know where we at. Like, it don't matter who president is. We're not gonna relax on how we moving in these streets. I mean, far as me, I'm not gonna relax. But just to spit all of that venom and say you hope people die, you hope mothers are motherless, to me is just idiotic. It's something that I don't resonate with. And I just think you're a hurt woman, so you say hurtful things like that. And that's my 2 cents. Yeah. I don't
Hurtful and mad.
Yeah, hurtful and mad. Like you said, everybody got the right to their opinion, because we sitting up here talking right now, speaking our opinions about things. But it's just a lot of venom and a lot of
Hmm.
hurt in that speech, man. I just kind of want to point that out. But we're not even done yet. Let's go to the next woman that I seen. Let's go.
Not like
Uh
crying on the
oh.
internet, but I'm not even about to pretend like this some shit that I'm finna be embarrassed about, bro. Like, I ain't never been so fucking devastated behind an election. And it's just like, when you a black woman surrounded by black men and they say all this shit like, oh, he's not that bad, and oh, he just hates everyone, bro. Like, it was my brother homeboy I was talking to the other day, a black man, and I found out that he's a Trump supporter. I'm like, he does not like you. And he was like, oh no, he just don't like everybody. What? So that's a good candidate for you? Someone who just fucking hates everybody? Like, what? And I'm fucking crying in my room this morning. My brother gonna come up in here and say, what's wrong with you? Like, he can't think of one possible reason why I would be upset right now, bro. These niggas are so fucking, they live on another planet. And it's because none of this shit affects men. That's why. Men don't give a fuck about nothing that don't directly affect them. If it does not directly affect men, they do not give a fuck. And motherfuckers hating women is the whole reason he got elected in the first place. The first time he got elected, he ran up against a woman. Second time, he ran up against a man, and it wasn't even a good fucking candidate, and he lost. He ran up against a woman again, and he won, because y'all just fucking hate women. That's all it is. We couldn't even get a white lady in office. Of course, they wouldn't go vote for no fucking black lady. And it's like, people just, either people don't give a fuck, or they're genuinely not grasping how fucked this shit is. And it's just like somebody commented on my last video when I was like, in the club, we all crying, talking about, oh, y'all are so dramatic. Dramatic? This is dramatic? Like, this is an extreme underreaction. Dramatic will be marching down to that fucking White House and burning that bitch down. That's dramatic. You don't want to see dramatic. This is nothing. We are fucked. We're literally doomed for the next 4 years at the very least.
Wow. Ooh-wee. Wow. Okay.
You want to go first? Now let me go first this time.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I hear that, like the emotionality about it, bro, it's funny to me. It's not funny because I'm against women, like she said in the video. Like, I love women. I got daughters. I got grandbabies that are girls. You know what I'm saying? I got a mama that I love. I got sisters that I love. I got a wife that I've been with for 18 years that I love. So it don't got nothing to do with black men hating women. Y'all have to get off of that shit. Like, maybe the dumb niggas that you around, they sound dumb enough to sound like that to you. But everybody I'm around, we love our women, and we gonna be there to stomp a mud hole in a nigga and protect protect our women. But just all the emotional throwing shots, and I don't know if it's for clout. I mean, because if you that upset, why would you push record? I don't know if it's for clout or not, but to me, it's just more the same hurt ridiculousness to try to put this on black men. Um, like you said, everybody's right to their opinion, so I respect that. But all the emotional crying, like your life is about to be over and all of that, it's just not true, man. And I can't really say no more than that. I'm gonna leave it at that though, and let you comment on it. It's just not true.
Yeah, that no, I think that was um pretty dramatic, and the fact that you feel that that's not dramatic and going to the White House and burning it down, that's dramatic. That you might have
Nah,
to.
your ass going to jail. Your ass going to you won't have to worry about your ass going to jail.
I mean, it, if other people are telling you you acting dramatic and things of that nature, I think you coming across like you are really dramatic. But the thing about it is this, in my opinion, um, at the end of the day, just like how you were saying, Big Pound, when we in these streets and doing what we got to do to provide and protect our families, it has nothing to do with hating on a woman. Earlier, when I was telling you my perspective as to why people voted the way they voted, this is an example of what I was saying when it comes to you see a woman that has achieved what she's achieved. When I was talking about Kamala and I was saying how she achieved what she achieved, and for a lot of the female voters wanting to vote her in to help push her to even a higher achievement, kind of that whole thing that's being said when people live vicariously through others.
Mm-hmm.
So that can hurt if you don't see it happen when you put forth that energy and everything. And maybe that's how she feel, and that's her defensive way of trying to say that men hate women. It's nothing of that nature. Trust me. I don't think people that when they went in to vote, they was considering or had the thought that, oh, I just hate women and I'm going to vote otherwise or not vote at all. I don't think it's that. But the
Yeah.
other part to it is from what she even mentioned when she said about the other person, Hillary Clinton being running for president and all that kind of stuff. Okay, cool. Is anybody looking at the history or the different things just as they looked at Trump, just as they looked at Biden, Kamala, Obama, all the presidents have something that's going on outside of what they were doing or some kind of conspiracy, some kind of crime, some kind of organization they're part of and funding money for this and that. People pay attention to that. It may not be aired, but those that really pay attention to when it comes to voting, they pay attention to these things. And that's why you don't get them to vote for you. But like I was saying in the beginning, Kamala didn't show the kind of leadership that people are expecting. Even if, and check this out, even if Trump wasn't the candidate and it was somebody that was worse than Trump, but they showed strong leadership or yeah, strong leadership and they was confident about things they saying and they was all script. You got to come up to that same level. If you 50-50, you got to come up to that same level just to show that you at that same level and that you can go a little further by doing other things. She didn't present that at no time. So why are people getting so upset and being so mad when, you know, she shot herself in the foot. Her campaign didn't do her justice. They thought they had it figured out by going to the old scripts back in the day, bringing that forth to get the voters in, but they were wrong. And on top of that, look what Trump is doing. He's in the people's face and everything. He's being more relatable. And he done took two shots to the dome, or two assassinations, and still going at it. So I mean, you didn't come to the game prepared, or you didn't have the right game plan. And so for all those women that are upset over it and everything, hey man, go find your man and relax.
Well, another point I want to add is I think the fact that Kamala Harris insulted not just black people's intelligence, just people's intelligence in general, but mostly black people because that's who she was trying to cater to. Um, every time you have a speech, you're bringing up a celebrity. When you have these rallies, you're bringing up booty shaking women performing at these presidential rallies where it's supposed to be a serious situation and we talking about policies, but the representatives that you bring up are not even the thought leaders in our community that really know they shit. Like these are not people that's connected to the people that you're bringing up. You're bringing up symbols to ooh and ah us thinking that we're really that dumb and we're not really paying attention. Now, for the moment, people scream and shout, shout out to Meg, shout out to Gorilla and all the other people you head up. But those are not the people that are the thought leaders that's reading 100 books a year, that's really in these books and really trying to break down this information and solve our problem that's been going on for over 400 years. Now, I think a lot of people done woke up to the fact that we tired of that, man. We tired of you trying to put out the low-hanging fruit thinking that's going to impress us, man. We done with that. And the election shows that. We done with that. We done. We're done with that shit. Don't nobody care about you shaking your ass. I mean, ass shaking is available 24/7. We got the internet. No one cares. I mean, you like it just as much as anybody else, but no one cares about your celebrity. Nobody cares about Obama coming on scolding black men. Nobody cares about his wife. Only people that care about that is the people that voted for it. But the rest of us, we don't care about that. We on another level with thinking on our own and making our own informed decisions. So all that crying and trying to blame us, keep doing it. Y'all been doing it before the election, trying to blame men for everything, but we're not falling for it. We love our women, and we're going to keep loving our women. All y'all women that's trying to cause a divide, keep doing that and be by yourself. And you won't have to worry about no men. Just be by yourself. I leave it at that, but I swear I'm going to coach my son to death that he don't end up with a woman like that. That is bad, bro. That to be that emotional over election, no matter who won, we already said in a previous episode, no matter who win, we still got to do what we do regardless. It don't matter. You got to navigate whether you in Nebraska, California, Texas, New York, you still got to get up and find a way to make it happen. It really don't matter. It's out of your control now. So, man, all that other stuff, man, y'all can have that. Y'all can keep that. Yeah, I'm kind of cool on that.
Hopefully it's a turning. Hope, hey, hopefully it's a turning point in people's lives to understand that. And it's been said every time an election come around. You know, if you want to change, if you want to make change, then you do the things that's necessary to make that happen by paying attention to your local officials and so
Right
on and so
now.
forth. Voting them
Right
in,
now.
yes, voting them in, voting them out, whatever the case is. Doing a little research behind that, and not just go off of what someone is saying, a suggestion. Hey, follow this person, follow that person. Do your own
Right.
research. That way, when times like this come up and you disappointed, you have more self control because of the understanding and the knowledge that you have, and not the lack of ignorance, which is a lack of knowledge and knowing, um, to handle all these emotions that you've come up with. Because at the end of the day, for that lady to act like that, all those emotions that she's holding on to, She's carrying the weight of everybody else and not herself. She don't even know who she is, in my opinion, to be that emotional and dramatic behind a lack of a lot of things that you might want to have. But when you praise a symbol, you're going against what it is that you should be doing anyway. You shouldn't be praising others and uplifting them as though they are the God of Almighty, of all universe, as though
Right.
they snap their finger and then you disappear. That's not the case. So bad on you, shame on you for even being that dramatic behind that. And your brothers and your brothers' friends and those that you mentioned, for you to think that they just hate women, you need to count to 10, go stand in the corner after you finish counting, come out and look at them and apologize.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, we all for that, but man, it's sad to see that it's it's like a whole nother underlining issue because it's already been kind of bubbling where they trying to separate men and women from each other through all these different talking points, right? Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, man, we gotta stay connected no matter what, man. It's gonna be another president in 4 years, and she did mention JD Vance, so let me build on that. I like JD Vance. I like
Hmm.
JD Vance. I like him a lot. He served in the military, very well spoken. I could be honest, I don't know a lot about his personal um what he's voted on and what exactly all he stand for. But just giving it a first look, I like JD to be the next president after Trump. I mean, if his policies line up,
Hmm.
then I talk about it a little bit more. But far as what I'm seeing, he's not doing like little 30, 40-minute interviews. He's doing long form interviews, 3 hours sometimes, 2 hours sometimes. He's never skating no questions. He's never ducking questions. So to me, when I look at a politician, that's the number one thing I want is honesty. I want transparency. So I don't even think JD Vance is. See, they already setting it up for like he's gonna be some kind of bad person too, which I don't understand. I'm not no lifelong Republican. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I go off of what a person say. So I ain't
Hmm.
I'm not on either side. I just know bullshit when I hear it. To be honest with you, I could just feel bullshit. So yeah,
Yeah.
man. You got anything you want to add to that
And
before?
yeah, I'd like to add to that when she even mentioned JD Vance. Now, just like when Obama became president, on both sides, I would say, just with what you just said about how he spoke, how he carried himself, he would pull you in with his words. He was articulating himself well and things of that nature. That's up front, what you see. That gets your attention. And then you can look more into how he moves and things of that nature. Same thing with Obama. Before Obama, you had Bush and the others that, they didn't speak in that smooth, charismatic way that Obama did. And Obama sold everybody on that. Everybody was wanting that, right?
Right.
Same thing with JD Vance, man. He has that in him to be able to speak well and things of that nature. We'll see what his work is about these next 4 years. To go back previous when um, Trump was president, I'm gonna say this in comparison to Kamala's and her running. Everybody got to see what both of them have done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To a certain degree. Well, they know what Trump had Trump not been the president back then and was running against Kamala now, he probably wouldn't have won with as big of a margin as he did if he was to win. And she may have potentially had won because they didn't know anything about him, and all he could do was just speak on things. But since he's done something and spoke and showed, what he's about and what he has done, that
Are you
helped.
saying Are you saying
So
Kamala would have won in 2016?
no, I'm saying if Trump had not ran in 2016, 2016, and was
Right.
running now,
Oh, okay, I
Kamala
got you.
probably would have more of a chance winning because we don't have anything to carry with us on what Trump has done
I
in
gotta
that
push back
manner.
on that.
Trump has shown that he changed it. He changed the economy.
Well, when
Oh, go ahead.
when she did run for president, if I'm not mistaken, she hit the drop. She was the first wave of dropouts. She didn't even win her primary to be the Democratic nominee. The only reason she's the Democratic nominee now is because they got Biden up out of there. So let's not forget that part. Like she
Right?
didn't win, she didn't run against a whole stable of other candidates to even get the nominee to be president. So she pretty much got shortcutted through the line anyway. She didn't go through
Yeah. I mean,
other
she got that
candidates.
entitlement. She got that entitlement.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it ain't like she earned the right to even be the Democratic nominee to be president. She was put there by circumstances. So that's not act like she done a
hmm
lot. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like Trump ran
So
businesses.
the point to make behind that is this: she was able to be on the same platform, and with those that just want to see a woman, just like if we see a black person and we're gonna just run with that black person regardless of what we know about them or whatever, they up on the platform, we're pushing for them, right? So that's what
Not
I'm
me.
saying in this scenario, or hypothetically speaking, on if you didn't know anything about Trump and what you do know about Kamala, you're gambling on what Trump is going to be doing, and you know what Kamala has done, and even though she was put in the way she was put in, as far as the women that were supporting her, and I'm just going back to how the women are responding,
Right, right,
it would probably be more men to follow along with voting for Kamala because they didn't have anything that they could lay on Trump or understand what he's done. Because if the economy was just as bad then, Trump wouldn't have won, in my
right,
opinion. He wouldn't
right,
have.
right,
And Kamala, even though she was put in that position and, basically red carpeted in, people probably would have went with her just because they know how that was. And if it was worse than what it is now, why not see what she's going to do?
right.
That's all I'm saying as far as how
The
people may
the
have wanted to vote or would go and vote.
bro, the woman president that's gonna win, we don't even know who she is yet, but she's gonna be a woman with a great education. She's a woman in the military right now, moving her way up the ranks as an officer. That's the woman that's gonna have the real chance to win presidency. Because if you don't have a military background, I really don't think America is really ready for um I don't think they're ready to go all in. And I'm not saying it's misogyny. I think a lot of people's concern is the security of the United States. Not saying that women can't direct and coordinate and all of that, but I think a woman that has been in the military and really put in that work and service, I think that would be the trifecta into getting a woman in the president. Like, what do you think about that? It's got to be a woman that we don't know yet that's in the military right now that's going to be the president one day. It's got to be, because that's the only thing I'm seeing that kind of slows everything down. That's the only thing that people point to when they talk about being emotional and making all these decisions for the security of the world. I think it's a woman in the military right now that's going to be president that we don't know about. She's high ranking. She done been boots on the ground. She done worked her way up to officer, and that's gonna be the woman that's gonna win. That's my long term prediction for the first woman president. It's not gonna
Mm-hmm.
be these senators that sit in the office and create these policies. It's gonna be hard, bro. It's really gonna be hard. It's gonna be real, real hard for them to get in because it ain't just they not just voting on the economy. They voting as well on there was no wars when Trump was in office. I don't know how he did it. I don't know what all his background methods were, but you remember there was no wars. And I think America cares a lot about the safety of America. That's something else we don't talk about. And you got hundreds of thousands, millions of people flooding into this country that you don't even know which ones are sleeper cells. And I think
Mm-hmm.
people care a lot about that as well. It is, it's a big part of economy, but another big part of that is national security. I think the woman that win president is going to really be closer to a military person than anything else. That's the woman that's going to win. That's the woman that's going to have a better chance
Okay.
of winning, I should say. That's going to be the woman that's going to have a better chance of winning, I say.
So for me, I did 27 years in the military, Army and Air Force, and I served under some women that were commanders, uh, had the leadership, showed all that. But I'd say this when it comes to the next woman president, I don't necessarily believe that she needs to have the military experience, but she needs to have a great negotiating skill. And that's the biggest thing with anything is to be able to negotiate, to be able to build relationships, to be able to have the confidence and to lead. Whoever falls into those categories, I think that would be the next female president. Not
Right.
necessarily that you have to know. And the reason I'm saying that is because Trump never did anything in the military,
Right.
but
But you negotiate the
his
skill,
falls,
right?
yeah, his failures in life propelled him with the lessons he learned from that to be able to not give up and continue on and be the negotiator he has been when he was president and to understand business. That's
Right.
what really kept him in and got him where he is. It's just like with Obama. He's smooth, he talk good, and he was a people's person. He was able to create relationships overseas to where there were no issues. Now he did do what a lot of people felt was just unheard of is to negotiate with a terrorist to get our people back. That a lot of people didn't like that was in the military because the things of how we're being trained and how
Right.
you're supposed to stand on yours until the end and all this and never negotiate with them like that. But he did. So what you see in any altercation, any successful relationship that's being built with other countries and things of that, the compromise and the negotiating skills that person has to where they're able to build relationships. So that's going to be the next president right there. And if we're just talking about females, they
Right.
possess those things. I put 100% guarantee that's going to be your next president.
And yeah, and to add on to what I was saying, I agree with that. The negotiating part wholeheartedly because every man hasn't been in the military. So sure. But the reason I said military is because I think that's what, along with the skills you just said, that's what'll put them over the hump because a person that's in the military, I mean, it ain't just them people, but a person that's in the military not gonna be so quick to send somebody to die in a war. They're not gonna be so quick to want to fight all these wars when they never been in a war because they know what it is. They know what the consequences is to it. So that was my reasoning for saying that. But yeah, man, I agree with you though. The negotiation to be able to network and build relationships with all these countries, definitely, that's it. That's it right there.
Well, you have to understand this about military mindset. It is to gain. Well, you're going to have the mindset to one protect. You're going to strengthen, and you're going to want to have leverage. So those things alone could possibly send people to war. So I'm just saying, from what I've seen, being in the military, from like what you're saying, um, you're it's kind of like being you're in the game playing, and you have to make decisions. True enough, you don't want to have to call in to do certain things, but it has to be done. So I wouldn't necessarily myself would say that someone that has that kind of military experience would not send people to war, because if their mindset is to make sure that the country is strong, um, all the way around, strategically and so on and so forth, to make sure that everybody's protected, those that have signed up, I know I have a pool, I have a platform to pull from for these individuals to go out there and do the things I want them to do to make sure that the country's going to stay strong and be strong, while I still negotiate and build these relationships with these other countries. And don't get it twisted, when I make these relationships with these other countries and nations and things of that nature, that I'm number one. Understand that, and I'll flex if I have to, if I need to.
right,
That's the mindset. That's all I'm saying. That's the mindset that, um, as those that come from that military background, they're going to have that, and that's just from they're just going to have it.
right,
So, and depending on how they choose to use that or not use that, depending on how high the deck is stacked.
for
That's it.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Already. Well, moving on. Since Trump
moving
did
on.
win the since Trump did win the election, um, we already seeing you started off by saying economics. That's what you concerned about. How taxes gonna be affected. Well, Donald Trump being elected got the stock market on fire. As you can see, the Nasdaq is up almost 300 points.
Woo!
It got it
Wow.
on fire, bro. Like, I don't know if you can see that good or not. Can you see that good? Let me see if I can make it a little bigger.
Hey, can you, like, how you can put it on each one of us? Can you just put it on that and make it bigger, or
Yeah,
it's just gonna keep it like that?
yeah. Nah, I can switch it. Um, let's see.
Okay.
So 291.30. Just off of that. Let's go. The S&P 500.
Oh yeah. Oh, nice. Nice.
50 points.
Okay.
Um, let's see. For some reason, this one's messing up. I don't know what the hell that is. See, I got to get off of that. I don't know what that is about.
Well,
Uh,
hey, it's a good start. You can
yeah,
minimize it down if you want. I'm good.
yeah. Well,
It's a
I
good
just, I
start.
just, yeah, I just wanted to show that real quick. I think it's going to be a lot of positive things that come about because of Trump's presidency. And I guess my question to you is, will Trump play the type of games with his political foes as the games was played with him when he was trying to get back in office. Will Trump seek revenge in his own way? You know how they put all the cases on him. You know how they was trying to keep him off the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they kept repeating he got 34 felonies, water, 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 water. Will he turn the other cheek or will he strike back? What's your
Well,
opinion on that?
looking at the numbers, after people voted and everything, and they took back over the Senate, right?
Mm-hmm.
The House, correct?
Correct. The House and the Senate, they got them
And,
both.
right. So, um, if he was to do anything to get revenge, then he probably would try to go in and knock out some of those individuals in those places. But since they already have that, more than likely he won't. I don't think he's gonna spend a lot of time on it. He got too much work ahead of him to be
Right.
getting stuff, fizzled out and straightened up to get this economy going. Now, if he is to do we probably ain't gonna hear about it because he already got everything lined up. Everything is,
Right.
already lined up for him to go in and run it. The best thing, or if he's to be in that kind of way, is to whatever policies and things like that that are set up or that somebody set up, he's gonna just kick that out the door and reestablish some things. But at the end of the day, he has too much stuff that he needs to get done than to do
Focus
things
on
of that
that.
nature because yeah, then to focus on that because we about to go to World War III, so we don't have time for you to be doing all that.
Right, right on.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, um, I don't think he will either, but who knows? Because it was a lot of sneak dissing. It was a lot of sneak dissing. It
Yeah.
was a lot. And say, man, and it ain't just politicians. I'm talking about like these little media companies. I mean, Trump don't seem to forget things like that. But like you said, I wish that he just focus on the job at hand and get everything back right for the American people. But hey, who knows? Who knows, bro? So
Yeah, well,
yeah,
he already has said it in his first term and everything about the fake media, and he already know those people, and those people know him. So those that were outspoken or whatever, they probably had more to lose or had the same kind of weight to bang with them,
right.
and those that weren't as outspoken and tried to, get a cheap shot in here and there, they probably didn't crawl back into the little comfortable cubbyhole
Right.
and just gonna ride this thing out.
Yeah, for sure. They better. Um
Yeah.
before we get up out of here, I know you wanted to talk about a little bit about Project 25. A lot of people are scared. I was talking to my oldest daughter about it. She was kind of scared about it. So kind of break it down for the people listening. What is it? What it's all about? Does it have anything to do with Trump? Yeah, just fill us in on that because it's 932 pages. So
Yeah, it's a lot of information. So I did do a little digging and everything, and the sources that I came up with, I'll share that. I'll share it with everybody, and we can post that. So if they want to go look at the institutions or, excuse me, where I got my information, um, just you know, post that in uh, wherever you post it. I'm not the one that
we'll
handle all
post it
that
in the we'll put it in
that
the
stuff.
community.
Yeah, Big Pound to do that.
Yeah, we'll put it
Okay,
in the community. Yeah.
so let me see where. Okay, I had lost my Okay, here we go. So with the Project 25, the timeline, the name refers to, and I'm gonna read this off. So y'all just follow along with me. It refers to the projected start of a potential Republican administration, particularly following the 2024 presidential election. The initiative is designed to be ready to go into action immediately after the next presidential inauguration, provided a framework for a new administration to quickly implement its conservative agenda. What they're saying is basically there's going to be a Republican administration, and they're trying to have it go from top to bottom. So, in short, Project 25 is a high level effort to ensure that the next Republican president has the tools, the team, the policy roadmaps needed to implement a strong conservative agenda across the federal government with a focus on reshaping it to be more in line with conservative principles. That might rub a lot of people in some funny ways, but to me, Project 25 just sounds like they're trying to change the United States into a more conservative way of living, and we'll just have to see how that's going to be. Now, here are some references and sources that provide more details on Project 25 and its goals. One is the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation is one of the primary organizations behind Project 2025. The work focuses on promoting conservative policies, and they have been involved in vetting candidates for key positions in a future Republican administration. For more information on their involvement in Project 25, you can check their official website at Heritage Foundation, www.heritage.org. The next one is Federalist Society. The Federalist Society, another key player in Project 2025, has long been influential in shaping conservative legal thought and judicial opponents. They have a track record of working to nominate conservative judges for the federal judiciary. You can explore their efforts here at Federalist Society, and that's https fedsoc.org. And again, Big Pound will post all this where you guys can get a hold to it. The third one is Project 2025 official launch, and that's in 2023. Project 25 was formally introduced as a long-term initiative to prepare for a potential Republican presidential administration. Key figures involved in this initiative included prominent conservative leaders, and policymakers who have outlined specific goals for reforming the federal bureaucracy and judicial system. Details can be found in articles and press releases from organizations involved in the initiative, and that is the Washington Examiner and the National Review. Again, these websites will be posted by Big Pound. So, Project 2025 Action Plan. The goal of Project 2025 is to provide a comprehensive roadmap for conservative policy implementation once a Republican administration is in place. Once one of the project's primary objectives is the overhaul of federal agencies, reducing regulations, reshaping the federal government to better reflect conservative principles. The Cato Institute has analyzed the broader implications of such an agenda. That's another website that you can go to look into. The last one, and I believe this is the last one that I came up with, or that was part of my research: judicial appointments and conservative vision. A significant part of Project 2025 involves the nomination and appointment of conservative judges. The influences of organizations like the Federalist Society and the Heritage Foundation is critical in identifying and vetting these judicial candidates. For more on this aspect, you can look into the Wall Street Journal article, The Conservative Project to Reshape the Federal Courts. And Yeah. So we'll post that, and these sources will provide you with a deeper understanding of Project 2025, the key players involved, and the vision behind the conservative initiative to influence the federal government and shape policies for the years to come. So, those that are wondering about what the Project 2025 is, I just gave you a little short summary of things they're trying to do and where they're trying to go, and some resources to check into to get more details on.
Right.
That's all I have.
Because it's like 930 something pages. So it might take you a few days to break it down. That's good information though, man. Again, being a black man in this country, you just gotta be prepared for anything, man. You gotta know that you running uphill every day. It's gonna be a hill every day. Stay prayed up, keep God first, man, and just keep just keep your mind right, and you can overcome anything. I mean, regardless of what they try to throw at us, if it's against us, we always find a way to overcome it. So we just gonna keep doing that, no matter who's in office. Again, I don't think it's the end of the world because Trump is in office. I actually think it's gonna get a little better. So, but with that said, you got anything to close out with, Kinfolk?
The only thing I got to say is stay up, be ready for the next up.
For sure. If y'all could give us a like, share it with somebody that need to hear some real talk. We know this was a pretty serious episode with all the political talk. So we just thought it was important to address a lot of these things that we addressed. Yeah, that's it, man. Much love to y'all. Again, stay prayed up, put God first, and everything gonna work out in the end. Peace. Hey, yo. Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's the Kinflow Podcast. Yeah. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate. We here to give you game. We here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Yeah. Keep your head up. Hey. Keep your head up. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate. We here to give you game. We here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Yeah. Every day when I awaken, ask God give me strength for the day that I be facing. Yeah, because we all trying to make it there. Life is hard, we keep pushing on the real, we don't fear. Because we gotta keep God first, while overcoming the obstacles, putting the truth first. And it still hurts, but it gets worse if we decide not to speak while we on this earth. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate, we here to give you game, we here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Keep your head up, keep your head up. It's the Kinflow Podcast. We here to educate, we here to give you game, we here to make you laugh. Deep conversations while we building on this knowledge. Keep your head up, keep your head up, yeah.
And all that other shit is to control you. If the church is to half the money that they was making and gave back to the community, we be alright. If they take half the buildings that they use to praise God and gave it to motherfuckers who need God, we be alright. We be alright. Have you seen some of these goddamn churches lately? It's ones that take up the whole block in New York. It's homeless people out here. Why ain't God letting them stay there? Why these niggas got gold ceilings and shit? Why God need gold ceilings to talk to me? Why do God need colored windows to talk to me? Why God can't come where I'm at, where he sent me? If God wanted to talk to me in a pretty spot like that, why the hell he sent me here then? You know what I mean? That make ghetto kids not believe in God. Why? So that's a wrong religion. I believe in God. I believe God put us wherever we want to be at. Then it makes sense that God will put us in the ghetto. That means he wants us to work hard to get up out of here. That means he's testing us even more. That makes sense. It makes sense that if you're good in your heart, then you closer to God. But if you're evil, then you close to the devil. That makes sense. I see that every day. All that other spooky shit don't make sense.